Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. My name is Sean Driver, and this one's a little bit different, a lot different. We're talking women's football, and I'm super excited. Watch parties tomorrow. You may be seeing this before the video, which means it's just in a couple of hours. But going to jump into it, kind of do a preview of the competition. I wanted to do one of the teams. We'll talk about why that didn't happen in a little bit, but let's get out into it. Let's talk about the Wrexham women's first team, their first game of the season. Let's go. Welcome to the Red Horde. September 17th, a little bit of Sunday mid-evening, or late afternoon football. We're going to get into it with the women playing Swansea. I was hoping I'd be able to do a review of the women and get to know them and their stories, their biographies. Wrexham AFC, I'm asking you guys, can you fill out their bios a little bit more? No wiki pages. We got to get into that. Semi-pro, so you don't expect all that stuff to be there, right? And that's a step up, and that's a move in the right direction. Just looking for a little bit more information because, man, do you have to dig. So I know that Welcome to Wrexham's episode 6 called The Ballers is going to be featuring the women, so I think there's going to be some stories that come out of that. I've got some little bits, pieces here and there that I've put together. I will be doing another video. I haven't checked when episode 6 comes out, but I'm hoping it's before October 8th. Might be a little bit tight there because October 8th, that's when the second match is that will be televised, and that's with Cardiff City. So let's just get into it. What I want to do for this video is I want to talk about the sort of the pyramid structure for women's football in Wales, talk about the league structure itself and what we can expect going forward, what the plans are, what we need to do, sort of a very brief introduction as to the teams. I don't know if it's hard enough getting information on Wrexham. It's going to be harder to get it from some of the other teams that are out there. And then talk about Wrexham's history, maybe a little bit of the European competition, and go from there. So let's get into it. The women's football in Wales has a pyramid structure, just like it does elsewhere with promotion and relegation. 8 teams in the Premier League, 1 team ends up getting relegated, and then it's replaced by a winner of the playoff between the Adran North, which we were in last year, and the Adran South. There are teams and leagues below that, of course, but I have no idea as to their relegation promotion from the lower tiers up into tier 2. I will say this, there are 30 teams that went into the FAW being the the Football Association of Wales. Their Women's Cup, they had 30 teams that applied for that. So that if you take the teams, you've got 8 in the Premier League, you've got 8 in the Adran North, you've got 8 in the Adran South. That's 24 teams, so that's only 6 others that came out from the lower tiers. So I anticipate there's a lot of development that's going on in those lower tiers, and that's where we're at with the things. So we've stepped up the league structure, 8 teams, and how it's set up is a little bit different in that each team is going to play each other 1 time at home, 1 time away. So that's 14 games. At that point in time, they're going to break up the table into a top 4 and a bottom 4. And the top 4 are going to play for the championship, and the bottom 4 are going to play for the plate. Those teams of 4 will then play each other again, 1 time at home, 1 time away. They'll retain the same amount of points that they had from their previous 14 games, and they'll go ahead and try to chase whoever's in first place or secure first place. The winner of that is going to end up qualifying for the UEFA Women's Champions League round, the first round, and I'll get through those details later. So last year, you ended up having Cardiff City who won it. That was their second championship. This competition has really been dominated by 2 teams, and that's Swansea City, who's got 6 championships. Cardiff Met, which is a university squad, who they have 6 championships, and Cardiff City, who as of last year just won their second. So those are the teams. That gives you an idea, 14-year history with respect to the league, right? 6 for one, 6 for another, 2 for Cardiff City. There are 8 teams. I'm going to try and get some pronunciation right and wrong as I go through here, and I probably won't. But besides Swansea, Cardiff City, Cardiff Met, you've got the New Saints. Now that's an English squad who's playing in the Welsh League. They're playing out of Oswestry Town. That's about a 22-minute drive, sort of due south from Wrexham. And actually, if you're to throw a dart and hit the middle between Wrexham and Oswestry, you'd basically hit the stadium that the women are going to be playing out, the Roc Stadium. And so that's about halfway through on the A483. Down south, you've got Pontypridd, which they've got a team in the Premier, the men's team is in the Premier League, the Welsh team, and they finished 5th last season. The New Saints, by the way, 4th. I'm going down in order as to how they finished last year. Cardiff City at the top, Swansea number 2, Cardiff Met, the New Saints. Pontypridd, man, I'm going to have to work on my Welsh with these ones. And so they finished 5th last year. Below them, Aberystwyth, which is on the east coast, sort of the middle of Wales on the east coast. They've also got a semi-pro team that's in the Premier League as well. Below them on the 7th place team is Barrytown. That's down on the southeast of Cardiff on the north coast, the Bristol Channel. It's interesting there that they've also got a team in the Premier League, and they identify that that's a semi-pro team. So how did the league get here? Well, the league started in 2009, like I said, historically dominated by Cardiff Met and Swansea. Swansea and Cardiff City, not Cardiff Met, Cardiff City are the teams that have followed Wrexham. So what ended up happening here, and I find it interesting and impressive, and I'm excited for women's football in Wales, is Wrexham's really been driving the ball here and pushing it forward. They ended up, after the promotion, moving semi-pro and making sure that the women have an opportunity to earn at least some money playing the sport they love and the sport that they're good at. And I think that's amazing. I'm hoping the fans show up in droves. I know that the tickets are cheap at £3, but the sponsorship and the involvement and all that sort of stuff, I'd love to watch the women's game grow hand in hand with the men and support these women doing what they're doing. And building it up, not just in Wrexham, but in Wales, because Wrexham did that. Swansea City followed. Cardiff, I think Cardiff was before Swansea. Cardiff City followed, then Swansea, and they've all gone semi-pro. So that's impressive. As far as this isn't the first time that Wrexham's been in the top division, sort of have an interesting history in the sense that we did finish runners-up in 2011, 2012, and then 3rd place in 2012, 2013. Now, the competition's gone through some changes. As I understand, 2011, 2012, there was basically a North and a South conference in the Premier League, and then the top teams played off in the final. So in that situation, Wrexham was the Northern champion. They ended up playing Cardiff Met, who was the Southern champion, and Cardiff Met won. And then in 2012, 2013, they just went to a full 12-team competition. Wrexham finished 3rd that year behind Cardiff City and Cardiff Met. They had a record of 13 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses. It does get sometime after that a little bit harder to follow the Wrexham's women's history. We know that they withdrew from the Premier League in 2015, 2016 with challenges getting enough players together, as at least what I read. Then there's that gap from 2015, 2016 to 2018. Wales Women's Football Association League that says that they were formed in 2018. That's different than the wiki page. So whether they were still operating and constitute a club while they were away from competition for the 3 years, I'll leave that for people to deal with. But essentially, when they signed up, I postulate they were sent into the bottom of the league, of the tiers, and they ended up playing in the North Wales Women's Football League. And as I understand from a website that hasn't been updated since 2019, they won in their return, 2018, 2019. So that would have been moving up, not into the 2nd division, the Adrian North, the Adrian South, Adrian North because we're Northern, but into the 2nd tier. They moved up into a 3rd tier, and then they got relegated back down. And then the ownership changed. And so in 2021, the Football Association of Wales restructured their women's competition. Wrexham applied for a 2-tier license, and they were granted that, and they were placed into the Adrian North. They were the runners-up to Ladudno. I didn't look that one up in the pronunciation, and I probably should have. The other ones I actually got the pronunciation thing and tried to figure it out. And they competed in a winner-take-all match. Wrexham lost, and so they had to stay another year in Adrian North. They did that last year. They won their way through. They qualified out of the North to play the champion of the South. And I'm going to put the links down below of the goal from Pritchard that was set up, that was the game winner. I'll take the one that's in Welsh because it's only got 549 views, and it's a much better broadcast. You can just hear the excitement. The English one, he didn't know who scored it immediately. He was sort of thrown off as to how it went in. It was, I don't know if she actually backheeled it, but anyway, it's down below. Watch that. It's part of the women's history, and it's impressive because that's their promotion goal. The women have a chance to play for Europe, and I would actually say that their opportunity to play in Europe is a heck of a lot higher than the men, and that's because the men don't compete in the Welsh League. We're in the English League, and so we've got to end up winning a cup or get our way up through the Premier League and finish in the top four, subject to all of the iterations that end up happening with how the cups work out. Got a long way to go with the men to be able to compete in Europe. The women, well, they can take one of the Welsh spots. So the UEFA Women's Champions League is governed by the same sort of coefficient system that works with the men, and that is you get a certain number of places depending on how good your league is domestically. For the Welsh League, they're ranked 41st in the world right now. So for leagues that are ranked 7th through 50th, you end up getting one team allocated into the UEFA competition. The 41st team in the league, you'd like to think that there's still got to be some work done in Wales to improve the quality of the football there, but this is the path, semi-pro domestic competition between the girls to go out there and have a shot. So I've tried to explain this a couple of times, and I'm going to try it one more time. You guys won't notice how many edits there are, but I'll tell you about them. There have been a couple. So let's tell you about how the UEFA Women's Champions League works, at least as it pertains to Wales. 41st means that you get one spot. 44 champions from Association 7 through 50 end up playing twice in the Champions Path. So you go from 44 teams, you narrow it down to 22 teams, they play off, you narrow it down to 11 teams. Now you have those 11 teams, and they're going to end up adding to that Champions Path the 3 champions from Associations 4, 5, and 6. And so that is England, Italy, and Sweden. So they're going to get added to it to 14 teams. They're going to play off in another round, and that's going to move 7 teams forward into the group stage. Those 7 teams from the group stage are then going to be connected with the previous season's championship winner holder, as well as 6 runners-up from the associations 1 through 6. Those 16 teams are going to play off again in group play, groups of 4. And then from there, it's going to narrow down. Top 2 from each group get into the quarterfinals, and away they go. They've got, not bad prize money, I guess, 250,000 euros for the team that ends up winning the UEFA Women's Champions League. Look, 41st in the coefficient, got a lot of work to do, but I'm just excited to watch some women's football and see and encourage and facilitate the growth, but by pushing for more coverage and more interest and demonstrating to the sponsors that we're there. And I'm ready with a couple of bucks whenever it's ready to step up in place. So I hope you are as well. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Just a little bit about the gaffer and a little bit about the stadium, and I'm going to put some links down below so that you have some time. So Stephen Dale joined the club November 2021. He joined from Rhosymedre Athletic, and he did spend some time, as I understand it. I saw a picture that said that he played the first team, and was a former player, but he coached there in 2018. I did see a flag by his name that said he was English, so I don't know if Northern Wales is his hometown or if he just relocated there. But when you look at his history and his bio, from what I've found, he's got ties to the Wrexham Centre of Excellence. He's got ties to the Racecourse Community Foundation and as their football development officer. He was a former player, as I said, at Gresford on a web profile. He's a local guy and a local coach who's got a run and a connection with the team and has been there for a while, if not in his official capacity since 2021, at least in facilitating and developing the sport in North Wales. So all the power and credit to him, and he hope that he's able to push this continued through. He got them to promotion last year, so all is well there. Just to talk about the stadium, I'm going to put a video down that calls it Britain's best stadium, and all in bold, best stadium. It is unique. So the Roc is located 12 miles south of the racecourse in Rhosymedre. Did I get that right? Maybe a little too French on the end of it. Opened in 2017, 512 seated, 3,000 capacity. The record attendance, 1,854, which was for a Wrexham men's friendly back in 2017. When you walk in there and you look over to the, I guess it's the northwest. I wrote down east, northeast, but I'm looking in my head at the map. It's in any event, an amazing sheer sandstone rock. That covers that whole side opposite of where the stands and the pub is located. So it's shared this year by Gresford Athletic, and from the women, it's the Druids. Well, they were there. Their names are on the seat. We're not going to talk about what happened to them. It's a bone of contention in Wrexham, and if you're interested, probably the best place to get your information is well, Twitter, I guess. It is what it is. Anyways, 13 kilometers, like I said, from the racehorse. If you are going to tour, and for the people that are there, it's actually only 4 minutes further south to get to the Punkasachta? I'm messing that up. Do I have to edit that, or do I just show you that I'm struggling live? I'll just leave it in there. I'm trying. I did look it up, but I wrote it down phonetically. Punkasachta Aqueduct, which is the longest and tallest aqueduct. It's a World Heritage Site. It is what it is. I'm trying to get through this, and it's late at night, and I'm just excited to watch some football. So 5:45 tomorrow. Hopefully this is going to be up at 5:15-ish beforehand. I don't, I wanted to put together the graphics and the icons and predict the lineup and all that sort of stuff. Here's the reality. I don't know who's going to be out there. I don't know, no way to track any injuries. I mean, there are certainly some players that you anticipate. I don't know, I'm curious to see who starts in goal, because they went out and got somebody who has some great stock, but their captain, Dell, was there. So are they playing 50-50? You know who I'm going to rely on? I'm going to rely on Carly, and I'm going to put her profile down below, because she's got her finger on the pulse of what's happening with the women's stuff with her vlog. And it's awesome to be able to get stories from her, from anyone. Look, at the end of the day, I'm excited. It's more football, and it's a good time. And the girls have deserved it. They've pushed themselves through to promotion. They're in the top division in Wales. I wouldn't be surprised if you're looking essentially at Swansea, the two in Cardiff, and Wrexham sort of leading the charge, which is why this game against Swansea City at home is going to be massive. As well as that October 8th game against Cardiff City that's also going to be televised. So that's it for the show. The next one that I'm going to do, I'm hoping episode 6 is out by then. If not, at least there will be some games and some stats that I can go through and sort of maybe try to do some analysis. But I'm asking the club, Wrexham, AFC, you officially, please, can you just at least fill out the bios? Can we get that much? Because I think the girls deserve it. I know you guys care about them. I don't want to guilt trip you into it. That's not my intention, but just help us out a little bit. We want to be able to follow along with the women, and you're making it tough to do that. So anyway, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Be there to support the team. If you can get out there for the £3 and you're in Wrexham, go ahead and do that too. That's even better than listening to my drolling tones as I try to figure everything out tomorrow. So watch party. We'll see you there. Looking forward to it. This is the Red Horde. Got to remember to turn the mic on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching the world. My name is Sean Driver, and this is the Red Horde, and we're watching women's football this morning, and I'm stoked for it. I've been racing in the background trying to take the lineup here and turn it into what I think could potentially be the position. It looks like they're running a 4-4-2. Sandy's here. How are you? John, I see some new people here that may have shown up for just the women's match, or they're more comfortable talking since then. So I've done this, and I'm going to apologize. It's not my prettiest work, but I'm hoping that this works. On field, transition that over. That's what I think the lineup is going to be as it comes out with, and I didn't get the white down so that the names can be visible. But I'm learning the names as much as everybody else. Del Morgan in the back. You got Lovett, Allen, Duran, and Davies in the back. 4, which I think are 4. They're listed as defenders, and so I'm guessing. And then you've got, in the midfield, you've got Gibbard, Pritchard, Jones, and Dickens. And then up front, Lightfoot and Hughes. Hughes obviously being the goal scorer, women's player of the year for Wrexham last year. Lightfoot was the young player of the year. So look, I'm stoked. You should have a link on YouTube rather than me share it. Just go to the Wrexham first time here for the Lady Dragon. See, that's awesome, Grizz. This is exactly why I want to do it. So I don't have the game. I'm not streaming it. Watch parties, the whole thing. You guys are responsible for your copyright. You can watch it in Welsh. I can't. Well, I could. I wouldn't understand what they were saying. Or you could watch it in English. It's available on YouTube. It's available online. Best way to get those sources, depending on where you are, is to actually go to the Wrexham website, wrexhamafc.co.uk. And if you go down into their news section, they've got how to watch the game. And you'll be able to see that there. I'm probably going to try to leave either this one up or that one up. Oh, clicked the wrong way. See, new toys. Or that one up so that I can understand what's going on. The preview stuff has started, so I'm tempted to, first off, I'm going to shut off my phone that I had on just to make sure this was being set up. If you haven't joined us before, all of the stuff that you see, the graphics, the icons, the scoreboard, everything is all new to me. We tried it yesterday for the first time for the men's match. And so, and you will get a bit of a delay. It's as good as I can do, speeding everything up. You may want to bump whatever you're viewing back a little bit. You'll be able to see the timer here as to where I'm watching, and away we go. I see the gaffer is on. I adore this stadium. The one thing that did throw me off is Gresford, and somebody, if you're from Wrexham, I wouldn't mind knowing this, is where the disaster occurred 89 years ago, if I recall correctly. Was it yesterday or today? In any event, where the disaster occurred, it's not near the monument, but I heard, I believe Mark Griffiths was saying that where the rock was located was at the edge of the mine. Now, I don't know if that's just a really big mine that covers all the way down south, like some 12 miles, or if I misheard that, or if he misspoke. But is that rock face have anything to do with Gresford and the disaster, or is that up on the north of town? So I don't know the answer to that question. But anyway, as far as the stadium, there are some links. September 22. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Down below is the links to a number of videos that you can watch at the halftime, after the game, wherever, if you want to. It's got the promotion goal, but they also have 20,000 views on a video of a guy who just walked around the stadium and met with the guy of, I believe is with the Druids, but showed the entire rock face on the northwest side, and rather impressive digs. I'm hoping, you look, season opener against Swansea. Look, let's be honest as to what I think is going to happen in the league this year. It's got to be Swansea and Cardiff City as the favorites, and I would think that you're going to put Wrexham in number 3, although Cardiff Met's going to have something to say about that. And I only say that because those top 3 teams are being paid. It's obviously Wrexham's building up. We got promoted, but we've loaded up since then. But Cardiff City and Swansea have been in place for a while. Swansea probably the favorite, even though Cardiff City won last year 6 championships. But anyway, I think that those 4 are the team that are going to be looking to try to make the championship, where they end up, if you watch the video, you've already know this, where they take the top 4 teams and move them into the championship, and the bottom 4 end up playing in an extended playoff sort of thing for the plate. It's got to be those 4 teams, I would think, right? So that this is a really good measuring stick first up at the start of the season. Is the girls are going to see what they've got up against a team that's expected to be one of the front runners, and that has me relatively excited. We're probably about 8 minutes away from kickoff. I was hoping to get biographies in and all that sort of stuff for the women. At the very least, can I get Wrexham AFC to put their birth dates into their bios, and maybe where they're from, and maybe when they signed with the team, just to get an idea. There's a lot of missing information, and it's probably volunteers that are doing it, so I shouldn't challenge them. And the wiki page isn't up, which I think now that they're semi-pro, each of the girls are entitled to get their own wiki page. I do some editing. I don't know if I have the time to do it, but I think that should happen as a matter of course. Just going to test the scoreboard, and it's a good thing I do, because it kicked out and said, you're not allowed to do that. It's not going to work. So let's just assume that we're going to score one and see what happens. The other thing, I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow the shots. I should probably turn them off, because I'm not going to be able to cross-reference them with FOTMob. So that's where we're at with the scoreboard as we go through things. Let me know where you guys are viewing in. Obviously, I know where John is. I know where Sandy is. They're familiar. I'm hoping that we've got one person tuning in for the first time with the Lady Dragons. We've got 15 people on the stream, so that's great news. And I don't know if we'll set the record. Over 1,700 people needed, but it does look like the stand is that our stand that was filling up there? Watching live, I would hope that they at least get the 552, but man, it would be amazing to hit that 3,000 or even to top the 1,700. £3 for a game. If I was there, I would be taking the 12-mile journey down and enjoying myself at this one. So let me know your thoughts. If you guys have any questions, obviously I'm not full of knowledge when it comes to the women's team. I'm waiting for the 6th season, other than knowing Hughes and Lightfoot and Morgan from goalkeeper, the awards that they got, and the bit of the game. Oh, and Pritchard, because she scored the promotion goal. That's the depth of my knowledge. So I don't even know what style they play. I don't know if they're doing a 4-4-2. They could be wrong there. I am curious, and the only question that I did have was Boland that came in. I was wondering if she might dispel Morgan, who I believe last year was the captain, or at least for one game that I was watching some highlights. But I was surprised maybe that she didn't dispel her because of her stock. I mean, she's come from upper divisions and in the English league, and I thought that was a potential. But it's nice to see Dell get the reward here and get out there and hopefully be able to assert her stuff, because she's been with the club for a couple of years now. So if anybody also knows about the history that I went over, that 2015 to 2018 gap as to what happened and how they tried to figure it out, if they tried to figure it out before they were able to get back in and start to work their way up before Rob and Ryan joined, I would be obviously fascinated to hear that. So feel free, type away. It should show up in the box as to where you guys are from. This feels like the first watch party that I did where everybody was a little bit nervous. I think I ended up going probably about 15 minutes where nobody said anything, compared to yesterday where we had something like 600 messages roll through doing the men's game. I didn't expect it to be as busy today, but this works a lot better when I have people and that are chatting and throwing things out there. As to Swansea City, I haven't looked at their lineup, so I don't have a clue. I wanted to do some digging on a whole bunch of things, but as I was poking around, I realized the challenges of semi-professional means that you save money when it comes to things like marketing. I would hope to see, and I would actually like to meet somebody in Wrexham. I don't know if they do this like they do in Canada, but there are sports journalist broadcasting programs in high school and in universities, and you would think that being able to do the media, whether it be for offline, like not official or official, if hired, that there's an opportunity for people to get stuck in and develop their skills and their craft and their trade. Maybe less likely with the club, but certainly, I mean, I would love to have somebody help out. Barrett, and I now I've got to do a Google search to find out where that is. Just going to test one more thing on my scoreboard before yeah, we're good. Or is that Welsh, and my inabilities to speak the language are going to come through. Long break. I was going to admit I was really, really nervous because I tried to watch S4C for a game earlier, and it said that they were going to have it. And I don't think it was a men's match. It wasn't a women's match. And it didn't work. Right when the game started, it went, "You're geographically blocked." Now, they've been saying worldwide. Here we go. That looks like an exceptional. Like we're clearly over 600 people at least. And I'm hoping that there's people around the other side of the grounds. Rex is there. I just enjoy me some football. Give me some women's football all day. I will take it. They're the mascots out there. See, that's the glory of the women's game and doing their thing, as Swansea and Wrexham make their way out, led by the captain today, Ms. Allen. You've got a whole bunch of young women who are chasing their goals and their dreams, and whether that's in soccer, whether that's in life, being able to see their heroes take to the pitch and have a crack against the best around, and that's the best in Wales are certainly here. Wrexham's a part of that, and that just makes me happy. So I'm going to pull these on so that I can hear the broadcasting and get myself all set up. And David, I would be, when I was watching the highlights of the promotions goal last night, I was amazed by, I wish I spoke Welsh because just the excitement in that broadcast, you can see that in the link below, compared to the English version. I felt like I was let down, like I was given a B-rated audio line. Oh, his TV's broken. Phone on YouTube? That's horrible. No. Mass scramble. I'm going to get the queue up. When the kickoff starts on my screen, I'll hit the start button on my scoreboard that's up above us. And that's going to be where I'm at. If you're ahead of me, and last night I think it was like a full like almost 20-30 seconds, you might want to bump things back just so that you can follow along. Otherwise, it's may not make so much sense. That is a very good crowd. And Rod, I think you're the first person to throw like actual Welsh sentences in the chat. So I love that. I'm not going to be able to know what you said. People could swear and I wouldn't know. Hopefully that doesn't happen because I don't want to have to filter and have no idea. But I love it. Bring it. I really should, if I ever find time. When do I find the time? I'd like to speak 100 languages, but add Welsh probably first, second. The only language I speak otherwise is, oh, minute silence. I will take this for the... All right, we're into it. And the other thing, I'm going to leave this up a little bit just so that we can see that I'm actually going to transition into this one. I don't expect me to have the positions. Whoa. I got to crash it from the children. I got two little ones, and so that's going to happen. And that's the joy of not having to be professional and stuck in a corner of the bedroom as they came in to say goodbye before they run off to the 2-year-old's got football. I hope Ryan's there. Yeah, if I'm Swansea, I'm wanting to assert my authority, aren't I? Like 6-time champions, tied for at the top, and in come the upstart Wrexhamites who, to be fair, did them a favor. It was Wrexham that went semi-professional first, and so it's nice to know that there's 2 other teams that have followed, Swansea being one of them. But there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of fire in the bellies for both clubs. Swansea will be able to, not give Wrexham any opportunity to get themselves stuck in, and obviously for the Wrexham girls to get not just a start to the season, but to announce that they're here with a presence. And it's interesting. I always I'm a little bit trepidatious, nervous when it comes to the women's game, because sometimes you can get big gaps between top and bottom. And in a league where you end up having 4 that go up and 4 that go down, that tells me that as far as the depth of the league goes, that there's a bit of a difference between and maybe a significant difference between the top and the bottom. So I'm hoping that, and I expect, to be fair, that Wrexham's going to be one of the top teams. Whether they're at Swansea status and Cardiff City status, I don't know. But it's an opportunity to build, an opportunity to grow, and I am excited for this. Here we go, in the Premier League. That's awesome. And so I don't expect that many of you are without a stream, which sometimes happens in the men's games. And so I think I can let the announcers do their thing and largely sit down. If there's somebody who's missing a stream, and I think that the only person who might be is... I don't want to say his name because he hasn't joined this one, but I know someone from Texas who's over in the UK, and if he's watching, he might not be with the stream. So it should be running. I'm behind. It is the best that I can do. Is that's where I will be. I will try to speed up and keep you guys up. I tend to fall 1 or 2 more seconds behind as the half happens. Usually end up losing about 4 or 5 seconds. But if we've got 500 in seating, 516 seating, that looks like it's sold out. And you got some on the outside. So are we up to like 600? So far, possession Swansea, eh? A little bit of a pushback. And it does look like they've got one up with Lightfoot on the left side, which I knew she played on the left side, and I don't know who else is on the right. It's on YouTube. It is. It's go to if you're not watching the game, go to the Wrexham website and check out YouTube and pull S4C. You can also search it on YouTube if that's easiest. But the game is there for us to watch, so that's why I'm largely going to sit back and shush. Less than 10 seconds, John. That's I'll take that. It's just the byproduct of it coming from me out to the world and then being processed and repackaged and delivered. Swansea in on the left. Big cross. Lots of boot on that. Jeepers. Wow. I don't know if that was going in. Dell got to that. Whew. And I got to get some numbers, and that's why I brought the faces up there. I think that was Duran. Lovett on the... Yeah, Lovett was with the pressure and Duran in there. Yes, and there are two versions, English and Welsh. At some point I do want to listen to a Welsh game, but I want to be able to get the... I got to fix my camera a little bit. I want to get the players and who they are and all that sort of settled and stuck in. So... That's interesting. What are the rules when it comes to jewelry and stuff? Because in Canada, that's a penalty if the game started. Swansea looks threatening, although did those two girls collide? Yeah, they're looking like... And I hope that's not a head knock because she came in with the header. No, they're fine. They're having a bit of a chuckle and a laugh. Yeah, the Scorio YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, that's S4C, right? Scorio YouTube channel. You can get it Wrexham AFC if you're worldwide. It is on the BBC player in the UK, if I recall correctly. Obviously, I didn't inspect that. And hey, another thing while we're chatting in there in a bit of time as Dell kicks it out, hit the subscribe button. I got the number over here that has it. It's live counting. Man, Swansea is in it. Need the girls to settle down here and get into some possession. Love it. Well, you gave the throw to us, but you didn't call the handball. It had to go off somebody somewhere. I guess you thought it was a different body part. Good on Lightfoot Amber to get up there. It's always fun. I mean, I'm only 4.5 minutes into watching my first Wrexham women's match, right? So no way of having a barometer as to where they're at. But what I will say is they look like there's a little bit more muscle, a little bit more speed on the Swansea team. And so I'm hoping that this is just nerves, jitters, being in front of so many people, being first game up in the top division. Yes, the beautiful TV license that us North Americans don't quite understand. But I guess we all have our unique taxes. So, and I don't know if there are any viewers here, if this is your first time, are we all new to the experience of watching the women? Other than maybe the racecourse game, did some people get out to that one? That one might have actually been on TV, and that might have been the one I was trying to get earlier on. Didn't get a chance to get it. Lightfoot, bulldog in it. Good for her. And that was Gibbard with a little bit of a giveaway there. Yeah, no, to be expected for sure. And we added, a half dozen new players. kept 10 from below that signed originally, and I think they added a couple more after that as well. And so you think that there's an opportunity to build and grow and all that sort of stuff. So the goal will be, I think, if for the Wrexham girls, I think a reasonable goal is to make that championship competition. I heard that, John. I didn't see it, obviously, but I heard that. I think there was actually somebody from the team that lost saying that it was that if it wasn't for her, and Wrexham shouldn't be going up because it was almost just because of her. That's what they intimated. So, but I think make the championship, make the top 4 after 20 games, have a run with the good teams. And what's the saying? Steel sharpens steel. Get a run against those top teams, build and grow, and then potentially add a couple of people as the men have done. Should be good to go. Going to be weird though. I don't expect Rosie is going to be scoring at her pace with the competition improving, but I hope I'm wrong. She's going to score, but I don't think the pace and the rate is going to be quite the same. Well, at least there's that. So it's basically just a good faith obligation. But I mean, we got cars, so and we register them like everybody else does. I guess TV is a property, so it's not that strange. Okay, let's build with something. Well, the referee is letting them play, eh? I mean, she got to the tackle first. That's one of those ones where it was just the nature of the force, but I appreciate that. Like, that's football. Yeah, I think, well, that's the secondary goal to me, John. I think because they break up the leagues at the 20 game mark, have the top 4 and the bottom 4, that's the goal, I think, is really to shoot for that and then see what happens. But we shall see what transpires. Racing for the names. So she's on the right. I do have her on the right side of my... Davies. I'm going to bring this one in for a little bit. And the bigger picture, I'm just excited to see football improve generally, but especially in Wales. You look at 41st as the coefficient, and only having 30 teams in all of Wales that competed competitively in the Women's Cup, the FAW's Women's Cup. I'm really hoping that this is something that we see more often. Semi-professional, more teams end up filling it up. There's fans that go up to take in some good. It's good football, like the skill, the talent. The effort. It's a beautiful game, and so I'm excited to see what happens. Just it seems to be 10 minutes in. I don't know what possession stats would be. Probably don't have them up on FotMob or SofaScore or anything like that, but it looks to me as though it's been like 80-20. Is that being generous? And now now somebody's going to take your legal advice, Andrew, and they're going to shut the door in the face and they're going to get a fine. There you go, John. They just said that on the broadcast that Britain Ferry dominated that playoff match. But when you have a keeper, you've always got a chance, right? There are many teams in many sports who have built up with just the importance of their goalkeeper. (90-10), yeah, that's... Turn it over now. Davies through the back. A little bit of confident play here. I will say that like the only player I think that in the midfield forward that's had extended pressures is Lightfoot on the left side. And I haven't seen who's her sort of opposite responsibility on the right. Pritchard, I guess. Do we get a corner? We got Super Mark Howard or Super Del Morgan. So Ms. Jones taking the set pieces, right-footed. Come on now. Sort of a flat ball. I'd like to get that a little bit up, a little bit deeper. Holy, that speed. Holy. That was next level speed. John Davis, holy moly. Shot out like a cannon. Brendan's here. There we go, Lightfoot. Settle it down. Lightfoot's looked good. Take him on. Well done. 3 devices going. John's into it. Did I miss Brendan coming in? Hi, if you're here anyway. We're up to 15 people. I think that's awesome. Nice, comfy little crew settling in for the match. Just as the ball goes out there, the analytics yesterday, holy cow. I jumped up. It was something like 250 hours of viewing time, 1,200 views. Yeah, we took that shot. I will embrace it. We're settling in a little bit. I mean, the only thing that makes me nervous is there's been too many interceptions, which is sometimes indicative of when there's a team who's able to see what you're doing because they're class, they're used to competition that's maybe doing a little bit more. That makes me a little bit nervous. The second thing that makes me nervous is the pace. Like that number 12, like she's got a motor. Holy. No, Brendan, I don't think it's the field looks really big. I think it's just the camera's so bloody close. Gives you appreciation. Somebody help me out. Is Mediant position? Because if that says 50-50 possession, I'm going to eat my shorts. Rosie with the pace. See, maybe we got pace too. Get in up there, Rosie. Over to Lightfoot. I like watching these two play. Like, just play on the left side the whole time. I'm okay with that. Dickens. Long distance shot. I'd like to get it a little bit more threatening there. Oh, is it bigger than... It's the biggest pitch in the league. I didn't know it was bigger than the standard. I know that they gave the dimensions, but I didn't cross-reference it to see if it was bigger than others around. But that video that's down below, if you're watching on YouTube, I enjoyed it, although I had to skip through it because I was racing to try and put together the video yesterday. Oh, John Davies with the... Well done. Doran be able to save and rescue that one. Lots of Lovett, Doran, Lightfoot, Hughes, all sort of working down the left side, aided by Pritchard a little bit. Nobody there. Uh-oh. Good job, Del. Collection, no problem. No issue, no threat, right? And John, to be fair, the history of the Roc up until the Druids and whatever's going on with the Druids that I don't want to get into. I think that if I recall correctly, looking at the ground stuff, is it's a range. There's a maximum and a minimum. But I didn't notice that it was... Just when I heard the numbers, it didn't trigger me that something was off, but... The rule regulations I've been more interested in are with respect to the FIFA ranking of the natural grass and how you get there, and the training pitch for the artificial turf. Trying to understand what our obligations are with the Wrexham men and the women for the academy as it gets fired up and built. Well done. Oh no, misplay. Davies missed that one. That's fortunate that she was behind her. I'm just trying to soak in the atmosphere. And I wish that I know that they want to show the crowd, but you've got to have the camera on the other side just showing off that rock face. There's nothing like it that I've seen. Love it with the long ball. I will say if there's a heat map, it seems to be a lot coming down the left. Interesting. The fact that that came from behind. I just don't like that because it was in the back. I mean, the push, the contact, I'm all for that. Well done, Dell. Yeesh. But less play of the ball, full just, here's a big shove. I'm not okay with that. Things you'll never see in the men's game is an oversized pitch. Well, okay, not never, but very, very, very uncommon because that just takes away tickets and seats, doesn't it? Well done. It didn't go out. Well done. Get after it, Amber. Oh, tough break. But the pressure giving us a chance. John Davies girl, she's John Davis, sorry. And she's not a Welsh international. She only played for the U17s? Is that accurate? I guess 31, maybe not getting as many caps now, but it's a fair amount of pace she's got. Well done preserving that one. Lovett and Doran on the left side. Jones helping out. And Dickens seems to be a long way back from the midfield. That's an enterprising ball. Can get up there, nick it? No. The Welsh broadcasters being shown. And then, see, you can see to the left of that broadcast, the sandstone. Like, that's just amazing. Yeah, and that's, Andrew, that's what I'm hearing, and I think I know just where people assert and apply the blame. Frustrating. Is she coming to get that? Yeah. Well done by the goalkeeper for Swansea to come out and recognize the challenge. You don't want Rosie running after you because she's got finish in her, doesn't she? But I am curious because Greshford, with their promotion, needed to end up finding a different place to play, so they came here. And I'm wondering if they're going to hand the keys over, as it looks like the Druids are starting to fade in their existence. Get there. Get there. Don't shy away. Nah. Toronto, Alex, nice to see you. Everybody's good. If you, since you're joining us, hopefully you've got it on the YouTube as because you can pick that up as well. We're probably a little bit quieter here, or at least I am, because I know nobody's relying on me for the broadcast. So just sort of adding an extra little bit of Wrexham color, I guess, to the thing. And I know Mr. Griffiths, now everyone's going to leave me. I believe he's doing an audio only thing too, that you can get his details as well. His summary, probably more insightful than mine, but I've got the pretty graphic. And I just enjoy socializing anyway, so it won't bother me at all if people end up finding their source of Wrexham wherever they end up finding it. Carly's thing is down below too. If you get a chance, her mom, whenever she gets around to making the video, I'm sure we'll put a vlog together. Mr. Jones. Rosie can run with them, eh? She's been doing that every time she's had a chance, and her and Amber are a little bit too far, but... Oh, here's a chance. Yes! Woo! Pritchard scores the one for promotion. Pritchard gets the first one in the Premier League. That makes the trivia really easy to do. How awesome is that? Celebrate, ladies. Get into it. Oh, man. Sort of against the run of play, but man, give the credit to Rosie on that one. Because Rosie saw that, hit the gap over, got it over to Lily Jones, who swung, I think it was Jones. No. Yeah, and then got it through, and Pritchard just run onto it, potted into the left. That's amazing. And also, yes, happy International Terry Fox Run Day. Beautiful. Beautiful. Man, she placed that well. First touch, just slapped it in there. Like, that's... She's got some skill, because, like, that goal that she scored again down below, if you're going to, at halftime, whenever, pull that one up and have a look. Amazing. Andrew, I guess that makes sense. 41st coefficient, you'd probably end up with the Welsh girls over in the English leagues. Potentially over in the US as well, Canada. Well, Canada is, unfortunately, as good as our team is and has been, and Christine Sinclair in Canada, we've got to get our own domestic competition going, and they've been pushing for that because, I mean, we're the Olympic champions. We've been runner-up in 2 World Cups, and then we just fell off the map in the last one, and lots of infighting and less football. Oh, man. Smiling again. This is... I hope I don't end up having to go through any suffering losses in the future, because the way that the emotions are up on the highs, I don't like dealing with the lows. And I'm a little bit nervous of some sort of... I know Manchester United's got a watch party, and they went down in that game last year where they went down, lost by 7. And... like... It became a viral video that somebody stitched together as reactions. I don't want that sort of thing to happen to me if there's a painful game, but this is so much joy right now. I don't know, maybe that was just me, but from Rosie running up there kind of gave the girl a little bit of a extra elbow in the back there, the physicality being allowed by the ref. So it's good on her, good on the team to be able to realize if you're close to the ball and you've got a play that he's allowing a little bit of contact. Love it being chased by Jones. Love it, the pressure. Joyous by birth. I grew up in Saskatchewan where it was 40 below in a winter storm. So I don't know how that ended up happening. Whew. Yeah, Sandy, you should watch That one, it's the United Stand is the Man U player, or the Man U. He's got lots of. I think he's got something like a couple million people who follow him. To be fair, lots of followers. And they used to watch that video. I laughed my rear off, but then I also realized, oh God, that could be me if there was ever a blowout match. I'm not as excitable. That's the one thing that people have said is I should end up being a little bit more grandstanding, a little bit more banter. And I was like, that's not who I am. I'm just a smiley guy who does too many analytical things. Diggs, how are you? And from Twitch. Nice to know. It's actually, I think that's the first Twitch person we've had join in either conversation. So I'm just happy because it means everything's working on my end. And it looks like you might be getting the chats there. What he's doing is secretly getting your birthday. We're going to all send presents. Now we're going to know, right, Andrew? Did I ruin that? Oh, a nice little move. John Davis is no joke. That shot was a little bit of a letdown, but Goldbridge, that's who it was. Yes, he is obnoxious, and I don't want to be that bad either. I think he's obnoxious not because of his content. I think he's obnoxious, and maybe it's just me, and it's not his accent. It's just his tone. He's nasally, I think. I couldn't listen to him. That's why when I saw how many followers, I was like, man, if he's got followers, I'm going to get people because I'm not as annoying, I don't think. We'll see. People will sure express opinions otherwise. What do we got here? Just a foul? The little bit of a shrug there, eh? Just dismissive. No, nothing in that. Captain. I'm okay with shoulder to shoulder when a player's not in possession. Like that's... Like coming in from the back with possession. But a little bit loose, yeah, get stuck in. One of God's children like you, yes. I'll tell you what, when you see the awards, and it's interesting that the coach decided to do this, but you know that Rosie obviously was Player of the Year, Lightfoot was Young Player of the Year, putting them over on the left-hand side. Like, there she is all the way back. That's a bold play given that was in the box. I don't think that... I'd like to see the replay on that one. That is a nasty fall. I don't think it was the push that got her there, but that was just two bodies engaging. I thought a little bit bold. Oh, they're waving, so that's not good. Yeah, John, I'm going to stay within the 10 seconds and cross my fingers and hope the difference between this broadcast is there's no refresh option really. I have to end up dropping and going to a different streamer, and I don't know what would happen. So I'm going to have to test something at some point in time to see how I'll transition servers if things go south, or I just do mass chaos when it happens. So we're there. No, she's playing the ball, and John Davies engaged. But I think that was not on the wall. I think that was on the ground as she rolled over on it funny. Left, is it her left? I think it was pressure left side. I don't think the barrier's what caused the injury, though. Might have been that it threw her off trying to protect herself, but... Kyriakopoulos is on the bench and could come out in the sub, so that'll be... Watch the goal. Pritchard plucked that one out. I do think it's too close to the pitch. And if you are going to have a fence that's out there, you don't want that metal one. You want the other barricades. But here's... I'm going to say something that's probably going to be controversial, is the safety issues when it comes to the women's game is not the same as it is with the men. You would have padded stuff everywhere, and other than FIFA competitions, women have to suffer on grounds that are different than what the men have. Knee injuries, we know what ends up happening, but that's just what's out there. They have to play on the cheaper pitches it's just unfortunate. Something like that, I don't know what you do. It's a new build, this stadium, which is where I'm interested in. Is they've got the fence there, but then they've got like a concrete barricade. It looks almost like behind it, and so you have to put something in front, and I think you have to pad them, and that's just the cost. So. Yeah, I will say that about Woody, about Swansea speed, is John Davies especially has been blasting through. The other thing I've been impressed of was their ability to read where Wrexham is going. They've had a fair amount of interceptions. But I do think it's her left wrist, and I think that's from when she rolled over and got it underneath her body weight. And so I don't think it was specifically the fence that caused that injury, but I do think that she was maybe trying to adjust herself to avoid the fall by getting her other hand up and forgot about getting the other one out, trying to scramble. I mean, I know it all happened so fast, but that's unfortunate for Swansea, because she probably looked the best out there, right? Hey, the bot's working. 100 messages. I'm setting up new toys all the time with this thing, and it's kind of fun to do. The other one, if you're new, I'm going to keep reminding people, is that's a live button. So every time somebody hits the subscribe button, I know I'm trying to get it to 500, because the community links will open up probably about a week after that, and that gives me a whole bunch of things that I can do different and new and hopefully exciting. We got lots of people in. And that's John from Toronto, from that sports team that shall not be named that played in England. Is that the same John? I should get a spreadsheet, because there's a couple of people that I'm losing track of. Yeah, I got to get the pads out. Well, and to be fair, we're renting. It's the Druids, potentially. I mean, and here's the thing. I'll take it a step higher than Wrexham. Is it should be a mandate of the Football Association of Wales and even UEFA. Is you've got to have minimum protections in place, and I don't. The announcer's saying the exact same thing. And so we will have some injury time. Dislocated shoulder, they're saying. Yeah, to me, it was the weight of her twist coming down on the ground. So that's what I thought. I thought it maybe was a wrist went. Shoulder makes sense. Horrible, nasty. Don't want to see it. Really? Given the fouls that were there, that's not one that I would have anticipated Allen ended taking, is because she really was just standing there. Alex, I looked for 6 years since I've 6, 7 years now to try and find a football club to support. My wife being from England and I couldn't find a Prem team to get behind. I tried Chelsea, and then they went and got an American to play for them, and I went, okay, you guys are done to me. I was really looking for somebody to sign a Canadian. And then Ryan signs up with Wrexham, and that was all the motivation I needed. And then you just fall in love with the people that the documentary communicates at and gets across who the people are, the players, the story, and hooked. So I'm with you for abandoning Man U. I'm trying to talk you into it. That's what I'm really trying to do. See, if you're looking at the YouTube screen, does it not look like there's concrete that's down below there? And that may be for drainage as a requirement of. I don't think that's a path. Does that look like it's vertical to you and the fence is right buttressed up against it? So then you have to have something there. Oh no, it's a pathway. It's a walkway. We'll see what happens. Coming back to live. Well over. The other thing I'm always ears to, 439, we've got a subscriber, thank you. Is if you guys have any ideas too as to how to improve this, how to improve the videos that I am doing, getting involved, I'm going to throw that out there because loving how we've been growing, want to continue doing that. October 8th, just off the top of my head, Andrew, I can confirm that. And I got to go to this keyboard. And now I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it there. I'll get it, but I'm pretty sure it was October 5. October 5, October 8, one of the two. And then Sandy, while you're here, still got to get you on. I want to do that roundtable thing where we bring in a couple of people, fans, guests, maybe a couple other podcasters and creators, and end up just talking. The only thing is I think we have to do it Sunday, like ridiculous o'clock in the morning for me, so that I don't upset my wife and I'm able to get the kids out to football. Sunday works. So it'll be a Sunday morning for me, which 8 hours from 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning will put you guys in the afternoon. Might be able to do it around nap time, which would be like evening, but less like to get people. It's just the time difference being so big from between the West Coast and Wales. And they got to parade the poor injured players in front of the box. That's smaller pitches, I guess. This is what you have to deal with. Yeah, that's it, John. October 8th. Too much on that one. Right idea. The possession, I think, has settled down. I think they've certainly had more shots, but what are we at? 60-40? She's not happy. Yeah. 5:10's kickoff for that game. Oh. Everybody came back to defend that, so now you got to stretch everything out. But oh no. Love it. Whoa. That was pretty impressive, and love it a little bit from that giveaway right there. A little bit slow getting back over. Yeah, 5:10 UK time. Damn it. I was hoping. I guess I'm going to have to do the research. It's frustrating to me. No wiki pages out there. I can kind of get that. But now that they're semi-pro, I'd like to see those happen. And I'd even be willing to fill them out. But Wrexham AFC's website doesn't even have some of the birth years. I was like, just the hometown. Yeah, 5 weeks from now, he's right, because we're only a couple of weeks away from that match on the 8th. Give it. Oh, you know what? Well defended by Swansea on that one, because she saw that coming. And even though it was predictable that it was going to be passed over, good, nice tackle. It was predictable it was going to be passed over. Rosie's got the capacity and the skill to be able to do that, even when it's telegraphed and known. See, Alex, we'll be here. I think because I've got the 14 of you, I might actually take a break at halftime. I've got to figure out how to bring guests into this space, but I'm learning so many tech things with this new hobby that I've found. Get there, Rosie. Get there, Rosie. Well done. Love it all the way up. Looks like it's rain there. You know what? It got up to like 28, 29 degrees yesterday in Vancouver. And it gets really cool overnight, which is glorious, and then really hot. It's actually better than the summers right now. And I want it to stay. Yeah, so we're episode 2, 3, 4. So it'll be another 2 weeks after that we'll get the 6th one. Well, you know what? I'll make a video. I'll put together what I can put together. And if I'm wrong, everybody can come back. But at least it'll serve as a precursor to the actual Ballers episode. People can actually know the stats and where they're from and add that information as their, I don't know, maybe it'll... Well done. Get there, Rosie. She was not offside. She was behind, and you could see her pace beat her through, because you could show that camera angle again. Like, I know I didn't see where she was when the kick was, but she's running from her own side of half, and she makes it through the two of them, and they were still behind her when the camera comes over. Bah. 8 minutes of extra time. All right. Let that roll, let that roll, let that roll. Got to be a little bit nervous now that you're sliding. Like, even that slide into the side there made me, or into the end line, made me a little bit nervous because it's raining. Don't go too far. Yeah, John, I thought that the first one was going to have 2 episodes, and then they changed it. So I don't know if they're going to weekly. I don't know if they're running back-to-back episodes. Yeah, I think the 8 minutes added was absolutely fair. Andrew, that's not just a UK phenomenon. That's a global phenomenon. I mean, the US women aside, and a lot of people have criticisms for their success, but they have been the earners when it comes to generating money for U.S. soccer. Dell, right there. Oh, okay. So maybe there's a chance. 2 and 3 back to back, 4 and 5 back to back. I'll put together a video anyway and scramble what I can find. It'll test my research abilities. If anybody else is a wiki creator and wants to check data, edit, do that sort of stuff, might as well make the girls some wiki pages. I'm pretty sure as semi-pro they've earned that, right? Can't find out about real players and they're right down the road. And the men's league, are you talking not, or does Real have a women's team as well? A week to recover. I did love how they dealt with the Grimsby goal. Just hit the fast forward button and that happened. It's over. Well, see, that's a little bit inconsistent refereeing, because what was different about that push than the one that was earlier on where she got pushed in the back? I guess well done. She was planted and asserted herself there. Oh, so you're saying there's a chance. Free kick the other way. I'm interested. Well, fair enough on not getting booked for kicking the ball away, but what? Everyone's got now. Grizz, you got to give us context. I don't know which one you're saying question mark to. To me pausing and not concluding my thought. I know it was an explaining episode. I just thought that they did a bad job on the financial side of things. It sounded a little bit desperate and pleading and icky. Which, given what we know about the turnover and the support, I found to be a little bit disingenuous. I get that they're the owners, but and I don't want to. Is there a card for that one? No, that's not. Shouldn't be a card. I just was curious whether the boots got in there, but no, we're fine with just. Oh, I didn't get the call either. I was confused by that, but I was also the color commentator for English. She wishes cards were thrown out all over the place. Yeah, I get it, John. It didn't build the drama, because if you know that there's not an issue. Arthur with some truth. And that does tell me I'm going to have to fix my filters. You're the first person that snuck one in. I was hoping to just nullify those in case there's munchkins around. So we're 5-6 minutes in. Yeah, the team wouldn't have been unsustainable. It still would have been sustainable with a card for professional foul. This guy just doesn't like giving away the cards, but that's fair enough. Stern warning. Oh, no, he's reaching in his pocket. To me, that's only it would only be a card not for the force of the actual impact, but just I think she was getting away and had people on both sides. It would have been a run out. It is physical, and it's beautiful to watch because the girls get stuck in. I think sometimes more than the men, and they also don't flop around and roll around on the ground. It's the wry smirk. Nah, I'm not gonna go that far, and wouldn't care even if they were. So what do we got? 2 minutes left here. A minute, sorry. My math is wrong. 51:56. I don't have a graphic for I'm away. Get there, Rosie. Both keepers have been doing well positionally and being able to read those and get out to the front of the box to steal it the entire time. Solid. I mean, there is some technical proficiency that you have to be able to enjoy watching these girls. Oof. I think, John, you just repeated what I said, and I'm with you. We're at the half. Yeah, that was a strike for sure. I'm enjoying this. We've got 16 people sitting on here. I'm going to probably take a bit of a break, run things out, and I want to check a couple of things. I don't have the I'll be back graphic because I wasn't too many things. I'll have to end up doing that, so I'm going to have to swap out the starting soon one and hope that you guys, because by the time I make one, can I make one and throw it in there? No, I'm not going to be able to. So we're going to go to the second half. And now I got to reset my clock too. Back to 45. I've always said this, like when watching girls soccer when I was in high school, I was always impressed by the fact that there were some girls that were out there that would just smash into people and get up, and neither one of them, the one who did the foul with the wry little smile like that was nothing and I'm fine, and the person who got wiped out and cleared out right back up to end up showing that you can't hurt me. And that doesn't happen in like the basketball games that I was in. Sometimes even the hockey stuff, certainly the soccer, lots of flopping. I would love to see that character from the women's game transition into the men's game. Is there's this implicit faith they have on the referees to be able to call the game fairly without them having to do any theatrics. And that's the one part of the game that that frustrates me. And to be fair, kept me away from the game for decades. So I'm going to put up the starting soon video, hit the mute button on this thing so that you guys can't hear anything, and I will be back here in about 5-7 minutes. So feel free to chat, and hopefully I don't lose a whole bunch of you. All right, cheers. And I'm back. Personal news, got an alert that said that my credit card has been blocked for unauthorized use. My wallet's with me. I've got all of my cards, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't been anywhere all day. Woke up, started doing this. Yeah, John, and I'd like to see it. I hope that they do. I don't blame the fence, unless it influenced how she controlled her body going down. That was force of hitting ground in that challenge, which I don't have any malice in the challenge. Just two players going for the ball, but the way I saw that was she just rolled over funny and couldn't get her left arm out of the way, and the weight of her body. Yeah. Now you got to deal with the suffering tone of my voice. Maybe you've had me on mute. You're just here for the chat. Wouldn't have been a bad idea either. The other thing I have to think of, and I don't know how I'm going to do this because Bradford's coming up and I've already done a video for them, is I'm trying to figure out how to do the second match. Like, do I do a synopsis of the first one? Do I do just what they've been up to recently as a little addendum, like a 5-minute video add-on? Trying to figure out how to play that. So if anybody has any ideas as to what they'd be looking for as far as when we play teams a second time, I know we're going to get Crew sort of quickly here because we'll get them, I think we're at home for the league game and away for the trophy. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do there. And I'm going to try to get more shorts out. Just a whole lot of stuff for a Canadian. I will take that. I will take that with a smile and then say sorry. I am enjoying this whole experience of getting to know people from all over the place, and the Wrexham community still doesn't fail to amaze me. Yesterday, by the way, had over 200 hours of viewing time. I think it was like 252 hours that people watched collectively from the people who logged onto the stream. That's bonkers to me. Way more than any other. Yeah, the Since We Last Played update. It's just hard. I try to stay on the right side of the copyright rules, but I may have to push it a little bit. Who's KSI? Is that Iceland? Back at it. Oh, got to get my finger ready to start everything. Okay, we're going. It's nice not having to give as much play-by-play. Just end up enjoying things a little bit more. I'm anticipating that we're going to end up seeing... Oh, free kick early. It's nice not to have to give all of the play-by-play and explain where everybody's at. Updated team info, etc., all that sort of stuff. Copyright. So the use of highlights and stuff. I'd like to be able to pull some of the highlights, and this was the goal, and that was the goal. Even if I pull it off of somebody else's YouTube, I have to make sure that they've authorized that to be okay. And in a lot of instances, ooh, woodwork. That was a great shot. So able to use highlights if it's, I mean, the defense of fair dealing, fair use allows you to use copyright information a lot. So the pictures are, in most instances, free game given what I do here. But your YouTube hasn't started? Interesting. Because we've got it. You know what? And I also want to take pauses. I was sitting out at the half. The one thing that shouldn't be passed over is Swansea City is like arguably the best, the top of the division. We're taking on the top of the top of the league here. And I think that was the yellow card for playing the ball, not the yellow card for the foul, but we'll take it. Yeah, the original ones didn't have it for a reason, but I may end up pushing it a little bit because the offense at the size that I'm at with 440 subscribers is that YouTube will send me a warning. If that's the offense, I guess I'll take it. If it is bigger than that, and if I get bigger, then I might have to be a little bit more careful. You will see the larger people like Goldbridge. That's a great pass. Hughes, nice little right footer to try and get that on. But he runs no video, and for a reason, right? Be nervous when you've got that many people following. So, well, amazing. Am I ahead of people? Yeah, I could do that. That would require me. I'd have to do a better job of starting to pull the chats because the downside with doing that is that's a lot of video for me to go over and sit and review. So, but definitely I should probably get a pad of paper or a Word doc up that I could just type in some of the times where something happened. I'll always remember the comment. I took a screenshot of it as soon as it happened of the being compared to Ryan Reynolds after I got my hair cut. Your wife must be happy. You look a lot like Ryan Reynolds. And I absolutely took a screenshot of that, and I'll claim that. And my wife thinks that person was drinking. So take it. Is it good? Did she keep that in? I wouldn't put the hand up so confidently there. I would have got to play that one just in case. But yeah, you're taking on the top team by far in the league historically anyway. And so to be up 1-0, would love to see that result. A tie is not a bad result. That's a positive result in this one. And I would love to see them hold on, add another. But this is an impressive performance because I wouldn't have been surprised if they were down by a couple of goals. And I don't blame you. We all know who and what we are, and should be confident in that in and of itself. But Mr. Reynolds, I'm not. Certainly don't have the banter. Need an attendance announcement. That's what we need. We need the Football Association of Wales to require improvements as to safety standards around the stadium. Plural. Well done, Phoebe. That was bold. That was bold from both of them. That's the other thing. These girls are semi-pro. They got jobs and studies and careers and all that sort of stuff, and they get hurt, like dislocating their shoulder, and they're not just dealing with that in the sense that, oh, I can't go practice for a little bit and I got to go do some rehab. Now they got to do the rehab and figure all that out while they're also challenged at work, or one hand on the keyboard, or unable to swing a hammer. Hope the insurance. Double block. Well done defensively. Oh, that was a bad ball. Slow down, girls. My drunk stunt double. Haven't seen him. But then maybe they're just not all into him. Oh, Lightfoot's down. Don't know what happened there. And interestingly enough, I looked when I viewed the substitutions. And I'll bring that list up while I'm talking about it just so that you can see. I mean, I'm only going by positions based on what's on the Wrexham AFC website. But of those players that are listed as substitutions at the bottom, none of them are strikers. And I thought that interesting. But then it looks like they're only playing, it looks like Lightfoot's playing like they're like a 1-2 up front with Lightfoot on the left-hand side. But I don't know who would be the replacement for either Rosie or Lightfoot based on those substitutions. I'm going to pull that back so I can fix the graphic. This is all stuff that couldn't do under the old format that I was using. Oh, it's still not perfect. There we go. See how Amber's doing. Could have played a little advantage there, but it is what it is. Injury, Lightfoot. That would be a great report on the injury report card. Upper body injury, Lightfoot. Yeah, I think it's just the cost of it. But the thing is we own it now. We're not paying for rent, so we're paying somebody else to end up having the club there. Maybe it's just about spreading the Wrexham love to, I mean, it's 12 miles away down to the south, so allow people who maybe are unable to get up to the race course an opportunity to go and watch. But would the atmosphere suffer if you had 600 to 1,000 people at a race course, a match at the race course? Or do you think you could get up to 3,000? I don't know. Should test it. Do the October game against Cardiff, throw it into the race course and see what happens, because it's going to be televised. Hey, that's what I said. I still think that they got to put the pads on, and I think it may have influenced stuff. But if you're listening to the match, you heard the announcer say that it was from the contact with the ground, which is what I saw, just the physics of the fall. Yeah, and the grass didn't hold up last year. What was that, 200,000 quid that they said in the documentary they lost, having to replace the pitch? But there's no rugby league going on the pitch, right? The Crusaders are no more. And most stadiums look to have those sorts of activities so that they can generate more revenue through the rent. So you'd like to be able to think they can make it work. Does it need specific time after the day? Yeah, I know that, but a one-off, right? Everybody's going to go and set the record on a day in, day out. Do you go and you watch? Are you going to be able to sell out enough tickets to make it worth it? The thing is you own the stadium, so it's really just the labor costs. Get it across, get it across. It's in. You knew it. You knew it. I knew it. You can't put it on her boot. Rosie. Whoo! Get into it, Ms. Hughes. And I said that she may not score a goal a game or higher like she did before. But she gets it. Brendan, when you come back, you're safe. You're not in trouble. Love it. Good little pass, good little ball. Pritchard again with the first tackle. And then there goes Lily Jones. And getting it through there is no easy task. Found it, and all the time in the world. You just know with that sort of space, Hughes is connecting. Beautiful. Beautiful. She played it a little close, didn't she? I mean, she got it. What do I care? But, man, that smile. Amazing. Amazing. It's that kind of morning, Andrew. And the other thing that I tend to enjoy, we'll see whether this comes true, is my frustration with the men's game is how so many players, you don't need to flash a card just to show a flash a card. That was just a tackle. It was worth a foul. Is women don't change their shape, their style, what's been successful for them as the game goes on. In men's competition, you get that one goal, your two goal, everybody enters into the parks the bus or enters into a defensive shell, whatever you want to call. I don't think that happens in the women's game as much, and I appreciate that about the women's game. Is it's just we're going to continue to play our game, whether that means we're up 10-0 or whether we're 1-0 up and we're still going and opening up things in the back. That they do that. So the lights are on. My team's 0-2. If I haven't watched them at all, and I didn't care to watch them this year, so I can't really lay claim to anything if they win. And I didn't watch them last year, and they were a playoff team, so Schmeh. Brendan does care. Just keep punting it away. You bet. I'm a Vikings fan. So, have been since I was 7 or 8. It's interesting to me geographically where people line up. Oh, with pace. Get in there, Rosie. Waiting for some help. Nope, she's just going to take them on. Good job. Ball in. Oh, that. Pritchard, did the flag go up? I thought. I don't know about that one. No VAR. Yeah, the Boo Birds. The Boo Birds. It's one of those ones where I didn't see in the camera because the field's so big or the camera's so close exactly where she was, but just it's one of those ones where you see the player afterwards and you immediately think offside. Whether she was or wasn't, I'm not certain. Yeah, gives us the replay. Give us a replay. Yeah, I think she probably was by half a step. Disallowed. And I think the right call. I will say, in a fun little interesting story that I had yesterday, I took my son to his dance class, and I was wearing my Wrexham jersey and my hat, and I ended up talking to a guy who's from Bristol, who he married a woman who is North Welsh, and their family, her mom and dad, met in Doncaster, which is my wife's hometown. And so anyway, I gained 3 followers from one conversation. So that was amazing. Yeah, no flash scores, no analytics, just a sad sort of... If I was a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, and I really enjoyed getting involved with a sports team and talking about sports, it's that analytics and that sort of stuff. I'd be doing that, finding a way to get that out into the world. Is she there? Flip it over. Oh, she knew right away as soon as it came off the... Power of the chip. Lob it over top. I'm loving this. The girls are in it. And this is... Swansea's no joke. Swansea's the top of the top. Asserting ourselves. Good on the girls. Yeah, I just missed it on the outside of her right foot. I've got Mike telling me that it's working, so I'm hoping it's you. Okay, it might have just been a plug. It was telling me. Good ball. And well taken by the... Maybe a little bit too close, but gotta love that. Yeah, Lightfoot, Pritchard on either side, and Rosie just collecting ball. I have to admit, the second half, the girls have come out. I was a little nervous in the first 15 minutes and thought, are we in the same class here? But they've been good. Now, whether that's Swansea falling apart a little bit because they're down 2-0, which would happen very infrequently to them, right? When you look at you go back through the competitions in the tables, you'll end up seeing like one loss here, a couple of draws there. Andrew, absolutely. And with the women's game, nobody's doing it. So if I was, whether a guy or a girl, if I was not in university yet and was in that high school range, Sandy, going to talk to your kids. We got a career for them. Yeah, no, but exactly, Sandy. That's what it is. They're not intimidated. They've got some skill. Like, I am thoroughly impressed. All right, everybody back. Oh, is that Lightfoot down again on that play? She's really struggling with her left foot there. It could be, Andrew. I had a problem. That's part of the reason I swapped over, is because the other one, the sound was kicking out and I couldn't control it and I couldn't see levels and I couldn't monitor things. I have way more control with this. The downside is I have to learn so much to be able to do it. It's taken me a week and a half to sort of, and I'm not going to say this is professional, but at least I know how things are working and I can try to improve things. Got some work to do. So Cara Jones, which I found interesting. So it looks like Lightfoot's coming out. I want to bring up the women's website again because I'm wondering, is Cara Jones a nickname? Because they had an R Jones on their team. If you go to the Wrexham website and you go to the women's team, and is she wearing the same number? I have a Ruby Jones at 23, Cara Jones 12. So she's just not on the website. So we've got a Ruby Jones 23, a Lily Jones 21, and a Cara Jones. I'm going to have to write that down. Don't know what position she is, but I guess we'll find out when we see number 12 running around. And did she take out Lightfoot? I missed. Just signed. Awesome. Thanks for that, John. John is not keen on Fozzie, that's for sure. He and I are of two different positions on that one. I'm more. He tried to have a shot. He realized he couldn't do it. He stepped out. I'm glad Howard's done his thing. Ogonkwo's looked really good too, and given his age, I hope that he's potentially going to be with us for a while. And it looks like the women's team is set in net because Dell's got all of the stock and history. Wow, miss. She just smiles afterwards. I wouldn't be smiling. I'd be raging if that was off of my boot. Because Boland's no slouch when it comes to her pedigree as well. So we're set in goal. Coming from Tranmere to Wrexham, that's definitely a step up in class, isn't it? That was intentionally for all the Tranmere fans, men or women. I will say, I saw a tweet too yesterday, somebody talking about their dream FA Cup matchups, because we'll get ours here in October and then probably start the competition in early November. But somebody said Chester and Wrexham, and I went, no, surely. And Chester's still in it. If they can get through the next or the next two matches, that's a possibility. That man set the world alight. You think we need another backup, Andrew? Ogonko is not. I think he's. I thought he was solid and will able to fit in nicely there. He's going to have those scratch your head mistakes, as all young goaltenders end up having, right? But I didn't forget that, John. A ton of clean sheets, had some amazing games, but he was a little bit slow to a couple of balls that I thought he should have got, and I was like, can he be that number one throughout? He's been making the saves he should have this time. It's just he hasn't been called to pull out an extra one. Swansea on the run. Oof, missed tackle, scramble play now, into the box, too far. That was a lot of confidence from Dell. Because I didn't think that was, I thought that was going wide, but she never jumped up there to just make sure, right? All right, Swansea quarter, and they're on a run. 70th minute. If anybody's in the bog, they can get out. That's true, Andrew, long term. McGill, that's who I want. Long term. He's not going to be Brighton's guy. I want a Canadian goaltender, so bring in McGill. Same age. It actually frustrated me when they brought in Ogonko until I saw him. He's the same stock as McGill. Same age, Premier League pedigree, too far down on the depth chart, come in on a loan, and I thought, man, that would have been, McGill would have been nice. We would have had that Canadian player. Short ball, just chipped out again. Yeah, I'll give you that. Whoa! Was that cleared away with a head? The pitch is tilted. Get there. Just let her roll. Let her roll. Let her roll. Well done. I'm just looking at that. Was that a punch away, or was that Doran who got that? I think we've proven class throughout the pitch, John. I like we've had. I mean, I haven't really seen the midfield do too much other than sort of Pritchard. Well, Lily Jones had the run in. Pritchard had the the goal. Lightfoot and Hughes have been great up front with Pritchard on the right, Lightfoot on the left, Hughes up front. Dell's done her thing. It's been class throughout. Yeah, Doran, that's number 5. No time wasting. Should have captured that, laid on the ground, held it, snuggled the ball for a little bit, counted to 5. So we'll see if Kara Jones, number 12, there is a new signing. We're going to see how she links up and where she sits potentially in contrast with. And here's the other new signing, Kyriakopoulos. Which, a Greek name. Can't deny that, but she's got the Welsh flag, Kyriakopoulos. You got to love that when they put in international experience with a young up-and-coming team. So Gibbard was in the middle of the midfield, so yeah, Sandy, and the only one that we talked about it a little bit was Junior Hoylett, and whether he would have been an option with Mullen out. And I still think he would have been, but when they signed Fletcher, I was a little bit frustrated originally. But man, after that last game, yeah, see that, Woody? Well done. Just clearances are good. Clearances are good. I'm good with letting Rosie stretch her legs when she gets a chance. And I say that right after, 10 minutes after I said, what I appreciate is when girls don't go into a shell when they're playing their game. They keep their form. And here I am. Just clear it. Just clear it. Fans, we don't know anything, do we? Dangerous. Dell there. Oh! Ah! Dell will be a little bit frustrated with that one, letting that one get away from her. I mean, it was a good ball in. Yeah, it would have been nice if she was able to hold that. There was some pace on it, but rather than, she kind of didn't get her arms in the right place, and it was almost like a volleyball pass, a bump that she served right into the middle of the box. Ah, see, that's interesting. Cardiff Met transplant is Pritchard, and that made, because Cardiff Met was the other team that they've won 6 titles, but they're not semi-pro. And so I've been curious as to whether there were going to be players leaving from Cardiff Met and going elsewhere. And I still think Cardiff Met's they've got resources because of the university. They'll have good coaching and all that sort of stuff. But I think that you're going to see a start to change with the professionalization of the game in the women's league. That you'll see the Wrexham girls, the Cardiff girls, the Swansea girls starting to pluck from places. Well, Ms. Boland, if she does come in, is getting thrown into the fire. And you got to feel bad for Dell here. I guess this is why you go out and you get an extra capable like a capable goaltender. I won't even say the backup, sort of They're similar in quality, at least as far as I've read. There's no nerves in her, is there? Just that big grin. Yeah, I don't think that they're televising all of them, but I think that there's going to be a handful of games that they're going to pick up. We know of one at least, but especially near the end of the season. Yeah, no, I I knew you were talking about Scorio. Welcome back, Alex. We're blaming you for the goal. Oh, she's struggling. Yeah, she was looking injured before, and then on that goal, I think, and it might have been the reason why she didn't collect the ball well. She kind of volleyball pass served it forward. But Charlotte Boland, like I suggested in the video, the only position I really looked at, and I wondered whether Boland was going to displace Dell too. So she's got quality from what I've read. In any event, you just don't want to see Dell hurt. But as a team, we're still reason for confidence back there. Andrew, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I think is going to end up happening. And I don't think that they will mind that role either. That's what university, sort of college junior football is for, is focus on developing the young players who can end up moving up. And so if you have a good top end where the players have a place to go to and learn, whoo, getting stuck in there. Kyriakopoulos, you got to give yellow to both of them. Oh, and they're still into it. I'm just soaking this up. There's some fire. You got to give both a yellow, though, don't you? A little bit of fire. You gotta love it. And now what you need here at the stadium is you need like a big red floodlight to shine on the sandstone behind, just to set the ambiance and the fear right over there. Could you just see a nice red light into those trees? What did we call there? Good take by Boland, even though it was offside. I'm afraid to watch any more Jays games after that Rangers series. They just don't have the pluck. And I hate to say it. A little bit of time coming off the clock. People complaining. Always nice when not a full stadium, too. You pick up more with the mic, right? You can hear the coach actually giving the business. Oh, you had time to settle that down. That was Lovett over there on the left side. Lovett. Whew. Squeaky bum time approaching. I just remember that 93 team. They had so much character and quality, and you felt they were going to win. And I don't see that. I hope I'm wrong. But Andrew, you have to tell me UCD? Is that the University of Cardiff? No, because you're talking guys. I don't know who UCD is. You hate that phrase. I don't even remember which phrase that I said. And if you hate it, now I'm going to make you type it out. Uh-oh. We're into full park the bus territory now, because even on that, there was no attempt to just push it into play. That was straight to the line. She probably had time to even run with it a little bit. That's a little nerve-wracking. Going to have to work on that. Oh, that's a great shot. Holy moly. You know what? That was a bullet, though. University College Dublin got it. Like, she hammered that. Nobody's getting to that one. Oh, squeaky bum time. Am I ahead of you guys? I feel like I'm ahead of some of you. Yeah, had a sense, didn't you? Now the hard part is when you let two in and one team's been coming at you, is flipping the switch. It almost feels like now you're holding on for a draw when really you'd hope that you can get back into it and have some confidence and get into it. That was a loud whistle. Foul. Yellow card coming. Have no idea what happened there. Pinder's constantly got the innocent shrug. Ooh. 2-2. Yeah, I kicked it away. They got it in, and it was on, I can't remember her name. Chilvers? Anyway, it was a bullet from right at the box. One touch from her left onto her right foot, and she thumped it. No chance for Boland. Nobody would have stopped that. It was that close and that hard. Guy or girl, I don't care who it was. Oh, sorry. I just hung my head in shame because I thought everybody was watching. I didn't announce it like I normally do because I assumed everybody was watching the game. No, I'll take that on board, absolutely. Entertaining isn't character. Well, I guess it is a type of character, but I was talking character that got hunkered down. Their ability to score with runners in scoring position, their average is just not good enough. A corner. Good on Wrexham for turning the script. It's so hard to do. I mean, how many times do you see it when you're up 2? The most dangerous lead in any game, because when it comes back to being even, it's hard to flip the switch and start going the other way. Kyriakopoulos with the goal. The two new girls to connect here, right? Cara Jones to Kyriakopoulos. Potted in off of her head. Serve it up to her. Oh, somebody just went down. That was late. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. All right, Kara, do your thing. Oh, and they're after it again, those same two players. Serve that over. Oh, that didn't deflect. Oh, we got a chance. Pritchard over. Good ball. Kyriakopoulos! Kyriakopoulos! Woo! It's almost like I scripted that one. No penalty. That was amazing. Kyriakopoulos with the goal. So if you're not watching, I'll try to describe what happened. Is that went to Rosie, and I thought she was going to have time to be able to get there. There was a turnover to Pritchard. Pritchard ends up getting it, takes it away, runs up, gets it to Rosie. They had lots of space, but Rosie took a little bit of too long, and Swansea got there quickly. And so Rosie, with no other option, flips it over to Kyriakopoulos, and they end up potting it. So there's Pritchard, slides it across, gets it over. Kyriakopoulos, no doubt. Yeah! Hannah! And I almost called that because I said Jones is going to serve it up. It didn't come off of the corner, but we'll take it. She just gives the shh. The rolling celebration. This is Wrexham. Men or women. Doesn't matter. To the death they go. Great ball. Oh my word. We're going to have lots of injury time here. At least 8, maybe more. Yellow card coming out. Red card. We got a red card and a pushback on Lake. Lake's losing it. I thought yellow when I first... So the ball gets away. Oh, yeah, that's a red. That's a red. I thought that was from before. I didn't realize that she kicked at her while she was... Ian! I can't say that I do. Does that make me a horrible person? I wasn't connected to Lake of Swansea. So she took down... Pritchard and her got tangled up, to be fair. 11 minutes. 11 minutes of injury time. Whew, I thought 8. So it was a red to Lake. They got caught up... and I think that Lake thought that there should have been a foul in the way that they just got tangled. And as a consequence of that, when Lake was on the ground, Pritchard was standing above her, and she just swiped at her with her legs and kicked her legs out from under. Ball was well away by that point. No, that wasn't a very good clear from Boland. Would have been better to... I actually didn't see if it was a pass back or not, whether she could have scooped it. So Swansea with 10 players. And they're still coming at us. Scramble. There was a kick free. Yeah, Kyriakopoulos. Got to be careful. She's on a yellow. That was a bit of a loose right foot there. Oh, danced past her into the middle of the pitch. Long. No, nothing on it. Oh. And the heart's thumping again. Man. Up the town. You guys are gonna... I'm going to die early from heart palpitations and all sorts of weird issues. So Boland's... That's interesting. Not confident with her takes because that clear was pretty poor. And then she's called somebody else back. Yellow card for time wasting. Yeah. Knew that was coming, didn't we? You got to do it. Your clock go past 100. No, it stops at 100. Yeah, it'll stop at 100. I was actually looking at that clock yesterday. It's funny that it happened because you can reset the defaults. And I thought, am I going to need more than 100 minutes? Why would I need more than 100 minutes ever? Very next game, more than 100 minutes. Oh, get over there. Whew. I'm looking at this clock. It's 2.5 minutes into the injury time, and I'm dying. It just feels like the whistle should be coming 11 minutes. It's forever. We're not down to 10. They are down to 10 men, 10 women. We got to let Kyriakopoulos is going through there with reckless abandon, and she's already on a yellow. Oh no. Oh no, that was unlucky. So a kick, and it got deflected, and it didn't look like it was going to be from a threatening position, but Boland started going left, and then it hits the deflection, comes over to the right. I'm surprised it had enough force on it. Was it looped or was it a deflection? Oh, maybe that was just a straight loop in. Wrexham's right back into it. Free kick away. Rosie stepped on a boot. Lots of time. Both ways. So did this actually deflect? Oh, yeah, it hit a head. Yeah, because it looked like it wasn't going to go anywhere, and then it hit. Well, it was either Duran or Levitt, just based on the hair color, and popped up in the air and looped over. So 3-3. Here we come on the charge. Yes, it is 3-3. They scored off of a shot that was not threatening, and I didn't think didn't have a lot of pace on it. Flicked off of a head, a Wrexham defender head. It's either Levitt or Duran, just based on position and hair color. I didn't see the number. And then there's nothing Boland could have done there, although I think she got some chirp from the fans behind her because she turned and kind of gave some disgust back. Like, not much that could have been... She's not at fault for that one. She was moving to the left to get where the ball was going, and all of a sudden it comes up over top of her, and somebody's down with cramps. Is that Kyriakopoulos? Weird time to play that one, whistle that one down is when they're taking their crack. If that would have gone in, yeah, Kyriakopoulos. Oh, she's holding her brace knee. She's in big pain. She's mad. Yeah, that's a bad one. She's in a bad state. 5 minutes of added time. Boland out to collect. Just play it to the throw. If you're not confident kicking it, don't kick it down the middle of the pitch because he gave it right to them. She should have just gave us possession. Let them run it up. Yeah, that's knee. That's not cramps. She was ripping at her brace. And you can tell, when somebody gets an injury the second, third time, they know what it is and they know the pain. And you could tell with her that she just knew what it was. And that wasn't good because she was peeved. Exasperated and peeved. Yeah, you guys. Don't know what that free kick was for. I missed it, but we'll take it. I'm going to go with Wrexham Leader. It was one of our newspapers that was talking about her and her history. She had stock and experience with like Premier League teams, if I recall correctly. And I noticed that she came from Tranmere direct, so obviously wasn't enough to be there to stay, but she was, as a young goaltender, she was on the path and then just recently off. So Hoblin. And she goes right back in, and with her one bad leg gets in the air and she clips ahead. If that was seen, that's a yellow, and if that's a yellow, then it's a red. Yeah, I don't. It wasn't head to head. It was arm, but was that the captain? Oh, that was payback. Alan's having a cheeky grin. You know what? There's some fire in this one for sure. Brandon says a flop. I'd like to see the other replay because I don't know whether she got her on the back arm swinging around, but does it matter? I mean, there is some fire in this game. You gotta love it. Cheeky grins all over the pitch. Lily, get there, Pritchard. Get lots of time. Somebody lob. Somebody lob. No, got to get possession first. 2 minutes, and then do you think they're going to give extra time, or is 11 far enough just to say you ladies have done enough and it's a little bit out of control, so I'm going to call it down? Andrew, your ref lens, you blow this down at 11, or you let it go for an extra minute and a half? Oh, nice. Rosie tried to flick that up forward to herself. Minute and a half at least. Blocked. Swansea looking again. Long ball in. Just play it. Don't kick it. Play it. Thank you. Swansea with the throw there. Both teams are after it. Oh, she's onside. Get there, Boland. Oh, giveaway. Jeepers. You play the added on time and added on time. So play the extra 90 seconds over. Yeah, I think. So I've hit the max. 34 seconds. Boland made a good stop there and then played the ball, got chipped away, and the defender almost gave it back to them again. Hurry, get there. Oh, not enough wheels for Lovett to get up there and take that. Now you got to hustle your butt back all the way back. Rosie's coming into the midfield. She just wants the ball on her feet. Take control of it, girl. She gets carved off and it rolls out. So the 11 minutes has been played, and here we go. I will increase my time in the future to make sure that I've got it more than enough time. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. A good block. Kyriakopoulos. I mispronounced your name. There's a whistle. We get a point! We get a point! You know what? Hats off. That was entertaining as all hell. That was, you take a point away from one of the favorites. That's impressive. I don't care if it was at home or away. You've got a team that you've brought in a whole bunch of new players, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to make them gel. Full time, 3-3, 1 point each, and a message. The Wrexham girls are for real. And man, the character. Hey, I've got to run because my wife just called, and I've got a kid at football, and so I've got to go and deal with him. And when I say football, I mean your football, not my football. So I'm going to go and do that. Before I run, I'm just going to end up saying hit the subscribe button if you haven't. I assume most of you have, because I recognize almost everybody that's here. But if I do have somebody new lurking in the background, please go ahead and do that. And I'm going to take things on. I'll be in contact with people through the week, and away we go. That was a lot of fun. Had a blast with that one. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, I'm curious to check the analytics on this one. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday for the next watch party, and I'll have to come up with a video in the meantime. So there we go. Awesome. Have a good one, guys. Bye.